Thank you. How about something like that? That's a Susquehanna cot. And this came from the Dale Woodruff collection, 1933. 2 years later, when they dug up the village site down below Spanish Hill. Now, we haven't confirmed that this pot came from there, but every one of these artifacts did. We're still trying to figure out why he would have this here if it wasn't. But you can see right here, Palisade trenching. Dale. And Dale Woodruff actually is one of the guys that worked with Ellsworth on the site in 1933.
That's an amazing picture, really.
Well, the interesting thing was the picture's only like, you know, this side. And then this is the picture, of course. And so the only thing I could see was this word right here, palisade, trenching. And the only thing that Ellsworth ever refers to, and this is part of Ellsworth's collection.
The words you said were palisade.
Palisade. The only thing he ever refers to.
The name Dale was on.
Yep.
I don't know, but do you know Dale Woodruff? Are any of these like in the Tower Point Museum today?
I don't know.
I think we need to go back.
Dale Woodruff, I'm familiar with reading and the old timers years ago.
There was a nice collection of pottery.
If maybe Woodruff had a large collection. If he did, I'm wondering what happened to it.
That card was not part of Dad's
Nope.
collection that I can know. So I have no idea for sure what Dale did with it. They might be in the museum or they.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this one strikes me. And I see it as brown jasper and sitting right out there in that museum. That, Tom, does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah.
Does it?
Okay.
It does to me too. And I haven't had the chance to go in there and actually look for it, but I'll bet you we've got that. It just, that looks like, I know that piece. It's a piece of brown jasper.
You notice?
Is that what you see too, Tom?
Yeah.
You notice the decorations on the pot come more than halfway down the side of the
Yeah,
pot.
that's an unusual.
What was it, grit tempered or shell tempered? Did we know?
This one,
Yeah.
it looks like there's a speck. And if you see the white specks, that's shell. But I don't know. I mean, I've got no way to know. I'm just saying, I see white specks.
A lot of it looks like a hen.
Oh, that looks like
And the castellations at the top and those sidelines are the typical Schultzen size type.
So, who knows what that, and this is all because, remember, he said it was a small rim piece, this was grit tempered, the surface was smooth and its size with parallel lines and 1945 degrees. That's the point I was trying to make, is that this pot right here is that kind of design, and it's quite common in the Susquehanna. Could it have been something else? Absolutely, we don't have it. Trench number 5, the cross section again shows thin humus line, and he just basically says he didn't find anything there. Guess where that one was? Didn't expect it to be. And basically, that's it. There were only two pieces, two things: the fired charcoal area in the one trench, and that one little piece of pottery. He didn't say where it came from. And then he actually gets to a point where he says, 6, 7, and 8, there was nothing there, I'm not even going to report on it. So his conclusions on Spanish Hill, and I can pull it out because he actually says it's inconclusive at best, and I think he's right. The Spanish Hill was used by the Indians as amply proved by the amount of material picked up from its surface in the past. From the work of 1931, the embankment does not appear to have been made at one time, which means he thinks it probably was made, but not all at the same time. If the evidence of the fire trench in 1 is Indian in origin, it would indicate that the occupation antedated the construction of the embankment by some considerable time. None of the trenches excavated nor the test pits of the embankment disclosed any evidence of post holes or a trench on the inside side of the embankment. We need to look at that. None of these trenches he dug, excavated, nor the test pits on the embankments disclosed any evidence of post holes or any other disturbances. And he did 8 trenches, right? Well, in 1916, Moorehead's guys did 400 test pits up there, right in the same place he was digging. And he never hit one of them. 400. That's luck for you, isn't it? Test pits by Moorehead. You can look up Moorehead, and these are the recording of all the test pits dug around the top of Spanish Hill. And he didn't hit one of them. You want to know why? It's a big area up there. It's huge. It's 10 acres. And all I'm trying to say is, you know, a handful of trenches probably isn't going to give us the best idea of anything. And I think he agreed with that. I'm going to show you some of the past records that convinced me that there was. This is another part of that General John S. Clark, the one that made the big map. This is the side view, and he actually shows you, and he thought that these lumps were to hold posts. Whether or not it was, I've never heard of post holes ever being found up there. So maybe there wasn't, but there was this raise with an interior ditch. Anybody know what an interior ditch on an embankment means? Because guess what? If it was a defensive place, like a moat, where's the moat usually, folks? On the outside of the wall, right? Guess what? And you can go look it up, folks. The only thing that that interior ditch means is it's a ceremonial space. Look it up. Embankments with an interior ditch are found at every one of the ceremonial places. The Great Circle. Keep on going. I mean, you go through all of those different ceremonial spaces that are known. The only difference is the ditch is on the interior. E.G. Squire actually makes that very clear in his work as well.
It could have been to reinforce the wall, you put more dirt along the bottom of it to make it sturdier. I don't know.
Yeah, but as the reports go, the only ones that have the interior ditch. The point that I'm trying to make is there's been a whole argument about Carantuan and Spanish Hill being a defensive place. I wonder if it wasn't a defensive place at all, would you be looking for the same archaeological evidence if that was the case? The earliest reference to the embankments is this. It's by Leanne Court. He actually was a Frenchman coming up from his island, coming up the Chemung River. And he says, near the confines of Pennsylvania, a mountain rises from the bank of the river Tioga in the shape of a sugar loaf, upon which are seen the remains of some entrenchments. He's saying this in 1795. These inhabitants call the Spanish ramparts, thus Spanish Hill, but I rather judge them to have been thrown up against the Indians against Embankments. One perpendicular breastwork is still yet remaining, which, though covered with grass and bushes, plainly indicates a parapet and a ditch have been constructed there. 1804, Alexander Wilson comes through and he writes a poem about it. Now to the left, ranging mountains bend and the level plains before us extend. Where rising alone, old Spanish Hill appears, the post of war in ancient unknown years. Its steep and rounding sides with woods and brown, its level top with old entrenchments crowned. Now to Perkins. This gives you more information, I think. 1906. Many now living remember the beautiful flat lawn of several acres on top of the hill, Spanish Hill, and an enclosure of earth, 7 to 8 feet high still, which was within a quarter of a century been leveled by the plow and harrow. That's the point. You see, from the 1800s, when these people were seeing this, it was being plowed every year and planted. So year